So you've got me, I'm Steven Campbell, the bass player and lead singer, and you've got
Veronica Campbell, I'm the lead guitarist of Avalanche.
So we just recently are releasing a new single on we're going to be available all over. So this is going to be called Sweet Baby Brown Eyes. It's a cover of a song that my father actually wrote in a band back in the 70s by the same name. It's where we got the namesake from. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's a bit of a amped up version of it. It's not a complete straight cover. So we do sort of add a bit more sort of a rocky, sort of heavier vibe to it. But it is relatively the same. So.
Yeah, very cool. Thanks for joining us today, guys.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having us.
No worries. So you gave us a bit of a brief rundown there, mate, but run us through the track Sweet Baby Brown Eyes for us from a musical point of view and sort of tell us what you were going for with the song.
Yeah, sure. So it's a sort of old school sort of rock vibe, almost 12-bar blues, but not quite. But we sort of amp that up a little bit even more. So the verses, the choruses, there's a bit more of a sort of amped up, sort of elongated sort of sections. But yeah, so it's just a classic, good old fun time rock and roll song, you know, just something you would definitely have heard back in the pubs during that 70s circuit, sort of 80s circuit. And it's just a great callback for, you know, someone that taught me how to sing and really pushed my interest in music, obviously. And yeah, obviously it's just, yeah, it's going to be absolutely great for us.
Yeah, very good. And we sort of touched on this a bit, mate, but the track is actually a cover of a band called Avalanche from the 1970s, which is bloody confusing. So I'm going to let you fill in the blanks for us and tell us what's going on.
Yeah, for sure. So like I said, my dad was the front man, Adrian Campbell. So they were together back in the 70s. They did a fair few pretty cool things. They were with Michael Browning, the manager for AC/DC. So they opened up for AC/DC a few times. They played with Cold Chisel. They played with Skyhawks.
They were on Countdown.
Yeah, I think they were on Countdown, which is another crazy thing to be able to say. And yeah, like I said, my dad taught me how to sing, and when we were putting the band together, we didn't really have a name, so we were like, just throwing names together or what we should sort of, you know, call ourselves. Nothing was really sticking. And when I mentioned Avalanche, everyone sort of was like, yeah, that's a really great name. And obviously I had to talk to everyone that was in the original one, but once we got to go ahead to use the name, like it didn't ever look back.
Well, and how was that first conversation with your dad when you actually said, like, we want to call the band Avalanche? Like, did he think you were joking? Did he?
A little bit, yeah, to be honest. I don't know if they actually thought it was the best name, to be honest, but like he was sort of like, oh, are you sure about that? Like there was no issues at all. It was just like, oh, you know. But no, they were really pretty happy with it. And we actually ended up getting some really nice messages from a few of their kids as well. So we had Tony, the original guitarist's son and daughter, both message us saying that they were really happy that we ended up doing it.
That's so cool. So we sort of touched on this before, mate, but how faithful is your version of Sweet Baby Brown Eyes to the original?
Yeah, well,
you can definitely hear the similarities and the differences. We've sort of added. Well, the original track had only one guitar. We have obviously me, a lead guitarist, and Arthur, our rhythm guitarist. So it's got twice the guitars in it. We've added a few extra sections. We've added a few extra solos and things like that. But you can definitely hear the original song.
Yeah.
And did your dad make you run any changes by him as you were going along to see if he approved, or did you have free rein?
Specifically told me to change it.
Oh, cool. The press release calls the song a fusion of contemporary rock power with rock history and lineage. So I'm taking it that sort of just means that you've taken a classic rock song and modernized it. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. Especially with our sound, because, like, you know, we grew up listening to that sort of stuff. So all of our music tastes are that sort of music. But, you know, making music nowadays, it's obviously not the same. So yeah, it is really sort of the interpretation of, I guess, our generation.
Yeah. So when you're doing something like that, guys, like, how hard is it to sort of like change someone else's song, but still sort of stay respectful to that song at the same time? Did you find it difficult at all?
We did actually.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of moments where like I wanted to keep everything very similar because I mean obviously it's my dad's song and it was really sort of important to me, and sort of everybody else was sort of like, no, we need to change this, we need to change this, we need to change this. So there was actually quite a lot of like sort of tension in between like me not wanting to change things and other people wanting to change things. So that was actually quite a big sort of
it did take us a little while to sort of get to the final recorded version. We kind of played around with different things. Basically, we were just thinking, how can we make this more us, like a bit more heavy, a bit more fast tempo, that kind of thing. And there were some points in the song where it's a bit tricky, but we're pretty happy with the end result, though. Yeah.
Did you find out to lock him out of the mixing room to do the final masters just so you could get what you wanted?
No, he was happy. He cried when he heard the final mix. He was really happy with it.
Oh, that's sensational. And the press release also calls the song one of the band's biggest, boldest, and most ambitious releases yet. Would you agree with that statement?
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, if anything, it's the first cover that we've done. So it's really, I mean, there is always going to be like, you know, putting up against other bands and, you know, what you might interpret as that. But really now we're actually getting compared to another band. So that is definitely sort of probably our ambitious side because, you know, obviously if you do it bad, everyone's going to say.
And with the music video as well, it's definitely our most ambitious music video we've done, which everyone will see once that's out.
Yeah, definitely a lot more planning, a lot more money involved.
Can you give us a bit of an insight into what the music video is going to be?
Yeah, sure.
Well, it sort of, the song's kind of basically about, I'm assuming Adrian wrote it at the time and Tony wrote it at the time, about going off on tour and missing your girl back home. That's basically what the song's about. So we've got a girl acting in it, doing some cool things, just, you know, and we shot it actually at one of Arthur's family's farms. So it's a massive location. There's a lot of mountainsides and drone shots and really cool looking things in there. And we definitely took a long time just getting our gear up this big mountain.
Yeah, true.
The drone shots at sunset hour. So that was definitely a challenge there.
And it sort of balances really well with our last video, because our last video was like directly in the middle of the city at Frankie's. So you literally got like straight city footage. And then this is sort of like a country video almost in a way. Like not music wise, but just the setting and the location.
Yeah, our last music video for Bottle of Sin was just us having a night out at Frankie's, but it was pretty crazy, really fast paced. And this one's sort of more like cinematic in a way, but it's definitely a cool contrast. So.
When we finished videoing the music video, and we actually saw some of the footage back for the first time, it actually even changed like how we designed a lot of the posters, because we were like, wow, this looks so much like a Western movie. Like we could really sort of sell that angle. And yeah, we never would have done that if we hadn't seen the footage before and thought that. Like, yeah, so it sort of fits really well.
Yes, right. And is Sweet Baby Brown Eyes a standalone single, guys, or is it part of a bigger picture?
Yeah, it is a standalone single at the moment. Our plan is to maybe release a couple more singles and eventually an EP with some new songs as well. But yeah, at the moment it's just standalone.
Yeah. And you guys have only been going for around 5 years, having formed back in 2018. So basically you've got mobile during the COVID period. So did you find it was difficult establishing yourself as a band in that period, or you think it was more advantageous?
I mean, look, at the end of the day, it happened to everyone. It was definitely really hard to do anything. I'm not going to say it wasn't, but we just kept doing what we could, and that was really all we could do and all we wanted to do, really. Nothing was ever really going to stop us. So
and seeing that some good things did come out of it. We got a chance to play some pretty big venues, which we probably wouldn't have got a chance to otherwise, because the capacity was put in half, and we got to sell out shows. Like we technically sold out, I think it was like 180 at the Factory Theatre, which was sold out at that level at that time. So that was pretty
sell out.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, it was seating at the time, and people were like chucking their chairs around. It was fun. So.
It was so weird playing to seating crowds. That was definitely a big adjustment for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever actually fully adjusted to that.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you could. It's sort of not the type of thing you'd want to adjust to, really, is it?
No, not at all. No. It's funny, you definitely feed off that energy, and when people are sitting there, even if they're having a good time, it's just it's just so dead.
Yeah, you sort of just doesn't feel right, does it?
No, not at all.
And you're about to set off on a run of shows promoting the new single, starting in Sydney on March 3rd before going through more in New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, and finishing back in Sydney on April 1st. So what can fans expect from the run of shows?
So this is our first time in Adelaide, so that's going to be really big for us because we've never even played sort of in South Australia before, so it'll be first time playing in South Australia. That's a really big one for us, which is going to be awesome. We also just announced today that we're playing a festival date just shortly after this in Brisbane for Moondole Festival.
Because a lot of fans were like, "Where's your Brisbane day?" We're like, "It's coming, it's coming."
That's
finally been announced. So we've got Brisbane people looking forward to that. So basically, yeah, this is pretty much as far as going all around Australia that we ever have in one tour. So we're doing Brisbane, we're doing Melbourne, we're doing Sydney, we're doing South Australia. So really, we're only missing Western Australia, Northern Territory.
Yeah, this is definitely our biggest tour so far. We've only really stuck to the East Coast till now, but yeah,
we want to make it that big too. Yeah. We have a special announcement coming for the Sydney and Melbourne shows. Do
you want to say it now?
Yeah, I might as well.
Cool.
So basically, we're gonna have my dad come up and sing a few songs with us at Sydney.
Oh, wicked.
Why not? Might as well.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have Tony, the original guitarist, come up and play some songs with us in Melbourne as well. So Sydney and Melbourne, I'm going to have some pretty memorable nights.
Yes, definitely a treat for the original Avalanche fans.
Good, yeah, just giving people way more reasons to come down, guys. Good on you.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thanks very much for your time tonight. The track "Sweet Baby Brown Eyes" is an absolute cracker. Really good rock song, guys. Well done. So I'm looking forward to seeing you play it live up here in Brisbane at Moondole.
Oh, thanks so much.
Can't wait.
All right, guys. Thanks for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for your time too.
Thank you.
No worries, guys. Take care.
All right, see you. Bye.